1, 2. Is it just me? I can't hear shit.
Good. What's going on, everybody? Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. Let me address the people in the chat. Shout out to Frank. Shout out to TLP, LDA, Trav, Riley. What's going on, my brother? Bruce Leroy, Playboy Dre. Did you get that book? I told you. DM me on Instagram. I'll hook you up, bro, and I'll give you the dominance mindset that you need. What's going on, Topaz, baby? Misha Mack, Joe Blast, JW. Good to see you as always. Yeah, because we got class over here. We aren't being with the riffraff. That's why. Nelly Nell, Motu, what's up? So we're gonna have a nice panel for you guys. As for right now, I'm in God mode. I'm in God mode, haters. I'm in God mode. Speaking from the Survivor Scrolls. Well, let's just pass it to AV. Just introduce yourself to the audience. Then pass it to Mark, and then Justin, boop, will come in. So go ahead, AV.
Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. I go by the name of AV, aka Alpha Villains. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, Alpha Villains. Follow me on Instagram. I got a morning show, Finish Your Breakfast with AV, 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. I appreciate the invite, Afi. Nice to meet you, Mark. Let's get it.
How you doing?
Good. Mark, tell them who you are and what it is that you do.
My name is Mark Daniels. I am of Mark's Inspiration. I am here to enlighten, inspire, and build up humanity by sharing my wisdom, what I've learned in my 61 years. So maybe you don't have to go through, or at least can go through some of the situations you have in your life a little easier. So I share my experience, strength, and hope with you guys to help you have a better life.
Good. And as you know, This is an Afi kingdom. This is God mode. I'm coming from heaven. I see a whole lot of things going on in the streets.
And I appreciate you inviting me, my Lord.
Yeah, I see all this riffraff in the Route 2 streets. Can't we all just get along? And that's what I want to know. Why we can't all get along? Why are people addicted to drama and bullshit? And side note, we gotta put the side note to the side, toxic women. I know y'all want to hear about the toxic women first, but y'all gonna have to sit and listen to us talk about the drama first. I got you here. Ha ha ha. So we're gonna get on the toxic women too, but we want to talk about the drama stuff. So we gonna flow for an hour. If y'all appreciate the show and the wisdom that y'all get, feel free to cash out the super chat, and maybe we'll extend the show. I don't know. My man Glenn Lawrence, when you slide through, you can come up to me. Let me slide because I put your ass out, bro. Damn. I swear I've been sitting here this whole time. As soon as he don't want to jump on me till I push the live button. God damn it. So yeah, I see a lot of YouTube drama going on, man, and I know this for a fact. It's not debatable. People are addicted to drama, bro, and that's the thing. The thing is they try to act like they not. Oh yeah. Man, we want the inspiration, man, but YouTube views don't show that's what y'all like. I'm just saying, bro. So why are we addicted to drama? Is it that we're toxic ourselves? Like, what do y'all brothers think, man? Let's tap in. You already know, Nelly. Now if people start doing this like this, don't act, I did it. This is my idea. So if people start doing God mode, don't nobody can't say I was doing that already. No, the fuck you wasn't. I literally ain't never nobody seen. Don't even try to play with me and say you had been doing this before me. I am God mode.
Let's go.
So yeah, what y'all brothers think, man?
Mark, you want to go?
Sure, I'll speak. Why is everyone addicted to drama? Because they don't have enough going on in their lives. They need some purpose, some adversity, some challenge. And if they don't have it, they're going to create it in a crisis situation. Now, the only detrimental problem with that is you create a crisis and then you get out of it, but you have nothing to show for it because you've got yourself into a situation. As opposed to if you take that same energy and put it toward a goal or a purpose or a mission, you get yourself in the same crisis mode, but that energy is directed in creating something that brings value to your life instead of the value you get from just getting out of a jam that you've created because you had no purpose or vision in your life.
I agree. Let me piggyback. That was excellent, Mark. Let me piggyback on what Mark said and to kind of piggyback on what Afi said as well. You asked, are we toxic? I think a lot of people that are drawn to that type of environment, that type of energy, that type of quote unquote entertainment is I think people are trying to live vicariously through people because they have more guts than them, right? So let's say, for instance, we watch people that fight on the internet that say disrespectful things, that are able to demean women, to kick out women, etc. But these are people that are kind of vicariously living through the TV. It's kind of like the birth of reality TV. So now, like Mark said, because people don't have a lot of things going on for them, they'd rather live through people. They'd rather live through the drama to insert some excitement in their own lives because they don't have shit going on. And I think, like you said, Afi, the views don't correlate to what we know, us being wiser, that people need, right? So now, because it's a business, the wise people sometimes have to go against their moral compass and create drama to give to the viewers because this is what they need, this is what they want. But in actuality, man, this is not what you need, because if you really had shit going on, you wouldn't be participating and supporting all the negativity. And this is why women, most of you guys complain about women, are running amok, because we continue to support the bullshit, we continue to support the negative energy, and that only incentivizes them. So in essence, we are indeed creating the monsters that we're complaining about, which are the women that are behaving as such.
I agree.
I got my man Coach Justin. What's going on? Tell him who you are, what it is you do, and just give us your first take about why are we addicted to drama, player. Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I go by Coach Justin. I can be found on Instagram at CoachJustin_AE. I'm a game and dating coach, sex expert, relationship advice giver and all things under the sun in that realm. And yeah, you know, especially I still hang out on Clubhouse. I know you guys don't do that shit, but it's an interesting microcosm because it seems that dudes are really, really drawn to putting drama in their life. I don't know, maybe they just have boring lives and they like to hang out with cantankerous women and get into situations and arguments and things like that. And ultimately, I think that it has to be some sort of addiction due to being an emotional person. Because I think if you take an emotional person and take them out of any sort of stimuli, then they're going to seek it out. They're going to find ways to create drama in their lives.
Oh, good, man. Yeah, I agree, man. Like, even, I don't know, like, a part of it is like people don't have nothing going on in their lives, but even people that do, man, it's like, you know, I would feel even better if people would be accountable and accept that shit. To me, it's the denial of it. They try to pretend like they're not. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, it's just this one time I'm looking at it. Like, no, bro, this is what you like, and that's okay, man. And, you know, I feel like, well, shout out to Minister Jack. I really liked he had a stream with Angry Man maybe a few days ago, and this really hit home. And it's just about now. They were basically, you know, both those guys have been doing YouTube since 2015 and, you know, way back. And what they were basically saying is now people just it's people in the chat that are building audience off of the content creators without actually creating content. They're creating content from the content, right? And what he said was, what's going on, Gail, baby? I see you. What's going on is, he said, a solution for me, he said, if YouTube, just the StreamYard, if YouTube charged the way that other platforms did, we wouldn't just get secret, just people with no voices with all the information, all the knowledge, all the talking points. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, people don't even be willing to invest. They don't even want to get the StreamYard shit off of here. So I think if it doesn't have to be nothing sufficient, $50, whatever. He said $300. I don't even know if I want to take $300. Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
But I think that I would, but I wouldn't just be all crunk about it, though. You know what I'm saying? That's like the cable bill, the gym bill, the electricity bill, all wrapped in one. But I would have to do it just because I'd have to talk to y'all. But I do feel like that would eliminate just the people that's on here shooting the shit. Like I say, they don't have a voice, but they got everything to say. So,
yeah, you know, I think it's you know, right now, you know, artificial intelligence is determining our algorithm. But if you really think about it, we are providing the information to the artificial intelligence. So when we're drawn to negativity, it's kind of like we're setting our own algorithm, right? And these are the people that normalize or think that toxicity is normal, disrespect is normal. There's no pecking order. You know, domestic violence is normal, you know, cursing, you know, a woman not being feminine, etc., extorting men, etc., all that shit. So when they live their lives like that, or they pay attention, this is what they're receiving, all the information that they're getting subconsciously, they start to behave as such. So if a woman is disrespectful, they overlook it and they think, it's normal, right? This is something men and women fight. And then as that continues to multiply, that starts to become the norm. So then when you have gentlemen like us talking about how we can't necessarily relate to the bullshit, we not only alienate ourselves, but at the same time, we're letting guys know, as long as we continue to stand strong, 10 toes down, that there is a way to determine how you want to live your life. There is a way to have standards and a program where you can have a harmonious relationship with a woman. You can be single and happy as a man. You can create a legacy without children. You can actually do what you want to do without the negativity. The problem is that it's lonely at the top, but it's lonelier on the way up. So as men, you know, we always encourage men to continuously get better every single day. And that is a price that you have to pay and determine what you're willing to pay for it. Are you going to be following the norm, right, which is the negativity, or are you going to try to ascend to a higher place in positive energy? That's basically it.
That's good right there. Hickory says, salute to all. In my opinion, being raised in drama at childhood can be a hard habit to break away once you grow up and one think it's normal, especially in a broken household. That's facts, man. I think maybe AB, you might say this recently, and I know we can all agree that a lot of these guys aren't men. They're just grown up boys, man. And it's fucked up to that sound. That's the reality, bro. Some of these kids don't grow up. You know?
Yep, for sure.
I think it's a lot different for them now than it was when I was younger, because it seems that they spend so much time in their house, on their phone, behind a computer, whatever it may be, is where when we were younger, we were out running around outside, going to the woods, climbing trees, building go-karts, doing stuff where you're going to get hurt, you're going to grow, you're taking chances, you're taking risks. And our society has become so preoccupied with safety that I believe we're killing ourselves because we have no challenges. Everything is all about, I mean, I'm all about being safe to a certain degree, but you got to have some risks. I mean, look at the men of old. They would go out at 15, 16 years old and get on a ship and maybe not come back for 6 months. And now it's like everybody drives their kids to school if they live a block away because they're so afraid something's going to happen to them. When in reality, statistically, it's safer now than it's ever been. But with the media explosion, pumping this negativity and this fear in everyone, they're all caught up in that, and they don't. Many people, as I forgot one of you said, that are so caught up in the program in the society, they buy into all this, and they don't think for themselves. But as the one gentleman said, he grew up in the household. I grew up, and my dad was an alcoholic, so it was kind of hectic there. But once you get to be an adult, it's up to you to do something about that. And you can take those things that happen to you. It's all perspective. I can look at it like my dad was a mean son of a bitch, or I can look at it like because he was tough, it gave me tenacity and persistence to continue to accomplish what I've accomplished in my life and continue to accomplish, because I don't give up every time I get beat down or some hater comes along or somebody says you can't do it or you look stupid, or you know how the haters are in the comments.
Sure.
That's my
Yep.
Let me ask you this real quick, Mark. Since you're the elder on the panel. No disrespect, but no, because you've literally seen this shit go
decline.
So, do you think we got some get back? Do you think if we get enough people on the same page that we can turn it around, or is it just the way this fucking is, and we just need to adapt to it?
Our society is, as I said, the media, social media. It's so, I mean, for lack of a better word, I don't like to be negative, but we have a lot of, I'll say it this way, a lot of weak young men growing up because they're not guided by strong fathers. If they're fortunate enough to have a father in the home, a lot of times he's, I used to say henpecked, he's whipped, he's weak. The mother's running the household. I go in a lot of people's houses and I hear this all the time. Well, let me go ask the boss. That's what the father says. The young man sees this the young man sees this growing up, so he is accustomed to believing that the woman is the one that runs the show. But to answer your question, back with social media and with guys like us getting on here and trying to help people, our young people have an opportunity today that we never had. I never had, but I didn't need it as much because when I grew up, we had the men down there behind the liquor store, and they would all go there after work, and they were talking, and sometimes I was with them, 15, 20 men. And then when I grew up to 15 or 16, we were all standing on the corner after work, having a few beers, 15, 20 guys talking almost every night. Now, they don't have that fellowship now as they used to have, but they have an opportunity here to get on channels like this, YouTube, and listen to people like us talk, and they can find people all over the world that they can listen to whatever wisdom they have, where I never had that opportunity before. So there's good and bad to both things. But yes, I think so. If we continue to put out this content, people want it. Young men are hungry. They want to be strong. They don't want to be weak. But unless they have a role model, they have no tools. So it's up to us to provide those tools for these younger people, just like I was provided with them when I was younger. One of the older guys and my mentors told me, he said, when you get big and strong, he said, you'll pass this on to other people like I'm passing it on to you. And that's what we're older guys are supposed to do.
Hold on. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that audience again?
Yeah.
It's funny, Mark. It's good to meet you, man. When you spoke on the getting bumped and bruised up and doing dumb shit outside, I had this. I grew up near the Susquehanna River in upstate New York, and my brothers and I'm the youngest of 3 boys, and of course we were not allowed to stay inside. That was the thing. Like in my house, when you got home from school, you didn't come home until it was dinner time, right? I'm getting a lot of background noise from your phone there, buddy.
Yeah, I hear it too.
I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, whose phone is going
I
on?
ain't got no TV on or nothing. I don't know. That's somebody else. I didn't do it.
I thought that was your phone. But yeah, so we had the Susquehanna River, and we took our BMX dirt bikes, and we would go down there and take some farming tools, gardening tools, and dig out trails.
Yeah.
And we dug out this whole huge trail, and then we would take up the dirt. We spent like all day doing this shit, and then come back the next day to ride it. We built jumps and shit like that. It was amazing. One of us had the bright idea to make a flaming wall at the top of one of these jumps.
Really?
Yeah. And so we're like cruising around the fucking thing. And my older brother, not the oldest, the middle boy, he comes flying through that thing, goes over the flaming wall, jumps over that shit, and his hair catches on fire.
Oh, no.
I don't know how the fuck that happened, but his whole head was like, it looked like fucking Johnny Storm. And, so we grabbed him, we threw him into the fucking river. And then we're like, fuck, like, how are we going to tell this to our parents? Like, we got to go home. Like, he's got like little burns on his head and shit.
Right.
But I'm just saying, it's like kids aren't doing shit like that anymore. I mean, if like the closest thing they're doing is like the similar things, but in like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Hey, just real quick, did y'all see this? Trav said Will Smith slapped Chris Rock after a Jada joke at the Oscars. Did y'all know about that?
Yeah, I looked at the video. The camera is angled behind Will, and if you look closely, you can see that he's too far away to make contact. It was a publicity stunt.
Yeah, it looks staged, man. It looks staged.
Totally.
I mean, it looked cool at first, but it looks staged.
Yeah, he's too, kind of like in movies when they have like somebody punching somebody, the camera's always behind the one who's punching.
Right.
So they can remain a couple of inches away and it still looks realistic due to foreshortening.
But I mean, at the same time, too, Chris Rock, man, is frail. Will Smith is still, even though he's older, man, that punch, the way it looked, he could have, Chris didn't even move, he just flinched, right? So Will could have knocked him out, or at least he could have fell down. He didn't even touch his face and say, ow. No. He didn't react, right? So he was like, wow.
I've seen those slapping competitions, man.
Yeah, I've been watching that too. Yeah, Glenn, come on up.
You know what I like what both of you guys said, you know what I mean? So let me ask you this to kind of piggyback on what Afi said and what Mark and Justin said as well. So yeah, society, in my opinion, we're all older guys. I'm 48. Mark, you're the eldest. I think Afi's the youngest, and Justin's right there with me. Long story short, I don't know, man. I don't necessarily see a solution. I think that we're dinosaurs, really, and I think the younger guys are very fortunate to have this as proof, right? This video proof, because I think all the older ways of doing things, the OG ways of doing things, are gonna really die with us like books, right? And I think I don't really see a solution as far as being able to correct the way society is shifting, man, because I feel like we're outnumbered. We have a lot of battles ahead of us. The only thing that we can do as men is water our own lawn and hopefully save one man at a time. It's not going to be at the rate that we need it, but we definitely as men have to stand on our square, man. We can't deviate and try to adapt to a situation. Now, what I find challenging is if I'm talking to a younger person or if I'm talking to a woman, because first of all, with women, yeah, you can have game, you can have, you know how to manage her. However, she's still going to be easily influenced by the shift, right? Because the shift is predominantly enforced by women, right? Women are like the soldiers, right? And quote unquote, the elites are the ones that are putting them in places to do the shit, to carry out all the bullshit. So it's difficult for guys that while we encourage men to be masculine and shit, there's some hurdles, man, because women are children with breasts. We already know that. So now you gotta manage the broad, and then you gotta manage the children and their children, etc. So it's definitely difficult. So it's our responsibility as guys that feel this way to really just try to stand on our square, man, and die with what we're saying, man. Because in 10 years, man, if we don't continue to do this, man, we're gonna be a thing of the past, man. And I'm actually concerned about the future, man, because it's tough.
All right, let me get Glenn in here. Glenn, go ahead. We talking about
what's good, Glenn?
What's good, everybody? How you guys doing?
Hello.
Yo, let me just say that whole Will Smith slapping thing.
That was
First of all, that to me was like a big leap for him. All right, like so, smashing his girl's cool. She can have an entanglement with another dude, but if you talk about her haircut,
Oh man.
you're gonna get slapped. I just want to say that, like, I think his priorities. I think he's overcompensating. I think that's what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna let nobody talk about my girl now. Like, dude, we didn't see him act like that at all when he was talking about I guess Azalea,
August Alsina.
August Alsina smashing his girl and then writing songs about it. We didn't see Will get mad. We saw tears. Okay?
Oh yeah, Glenn. The whole world was like, "Will, you're a bitch."
Yeah,
and this was his move to be like, "Nah,
exactly." This is his step. Like, no, you're not going to talk about my girl. And I'm like, bro, pick your battles. You're picking the wrong fight.
Lawrence be coming in and clutch.
That ship has sailed, Will.
I can't watch Will be a tough guy no more because I don't see it.
Yeah, it's sad.
What up,
LDA?
What's going on, brothers? How you guys doing? Good to see everyone on the panel. Some people I haven't met before, Mark and Glenn. Shout out to you. Shout out to Coach.
Yeah.
Shout out to AV. Shout out to anyone else. Alfie, everybody. Shout out to the chat room. What's going on?
That's my Adams from another madam.
That's right.
So what do you think about the people being addicted to drama, Lawrence?
Oh, I think you know what? Let me adjust my camera. I think the people being addicted to drama is something that we are. I studied something in sociology when I was in college, and it's a social construct that people have been fed since they were younger. So think about when you were in kindergarten, when you were younger, when somebody had a fight, first thing you're going to do is what? Go watch it. Why? And that became what? A catalyst to get you addicted to seeing something that was exciting. So like I think Mark said earlier, a lot of people don't have anything going on in their life. So that's the reason why they're addicted to drama. But let me throw a monkey wrench in all of this. Let me say this. Drama is a tool that is very good.
Yeah, man, that's true.
Let me say this again. Drama is a tool that is actually very good. The problem is when you say on these YouTube streets with these YouTubians, they don't know how to use it correctly. If you use drama correctly and use it for your benefit, it actually can push your message out further. And I think what happened is we are sort of afraid of drama that we don't know how to use it as the correct tool to push our narrative further. A lot of drama, let me say this, the second thing is a lot of drama is pre-scripted out. So these two individuals might have said, we're going to get into a tit for tat on behind the scenes and bring it onto YouTube or bring it to whatever place. Guess what? So that they can make money. It is a tool. You know how to use it as a tool.
No doubt.
You know what's funny is like a lot of these people are so absorbed with the drama because it's a distraction. Look, if I could talk about your drama and all your mess ups and what you got going on, then guess what? We're not even talking about mine. We didn't got to worry about what I got going on. All right, we could be so focused, and that's what we do. People get so hyped up on like the negative aspects of the manosphere or the negative actions of men, and women love that because as long as we can talk about all the shit that men are doing wrong, then we're never gonna have to talk about what they're doing wrong, or where their mishaps are, or where they're falling short. And then it's a manipulation thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's a story. My ex always accused me of cheating, and I never cheated. But she was the one that was cheating. But because she was so focused on making it seem like I was doing something dirty, that I was so focused on making sure I'm not, she wasn't doing anything. She wasn't fixing herself. And it's because of that, we get so caught up in the drama in somebody else's life that we don't really focus on ourselves. So yeah, we love coming on here talking about the Kardashians or Kanye or what so-and-so said in their live stream, because you know what, it takes the focus off us having to be responsible for our own drama. Or reason we say women ain't shit, because you know why? Because if we say women ain't shit, then we don't got to focus on making ourselves better men. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to level up if we get to just go on here and say women ain't shit.
Yeah, good
Because
point.
that makes the whole problem women, not us,
Oh.
not men. And that's the problem. I mean, you get that on both sides. And that's the problem.
That's a good point, Glenn, right?
No doubt.
Yeah,
That's-
Glenn.
So that's a good point. What we had to do is, if we're seeing drama everywhere, and we happen to be where drama is, we had to find Waldo. Where is the drama? It is in you.
Exactly.
You have not resolved whatever is going on in you, and what happens is it's only a reflection of what's happening inside of you.
Excellent.
There's certain content creators I can't listen to because it doesn't resonate with me, because that level of drama is not even in me. So wherever they're talking about, I'm like, okay, great, and I keep clicking by. There are some other people who have content I listen to has slight drama in it. Okay, I can tolerate it, because on some level it's a reflection of who I am. And what happens is we don't want to dissect as men what part of drama do we play in it, and how we are we are the director in it.
Boom. Shout out to Brother Love. Sarism, if you want to drop some game, you all good. Shout out to Golden Child, and shout out to OSO for the cash app. I appreciate you, brother. You watching from the clouds, but I got the cash app from God mode. Salute to you. Somebody has something to say?
I'll touch on what Lawrence, is that right?
Yes.
What Lawrence said. I agree 100% with that, because if you have drama in your life, then you got drama inside of you. And if you have terrible drama, creating crises in your life, you have things within yourself that you need to work on. But as he said, the problem is everyone wants to focus on what she's doing or what they're doing. Well, they wouldn't be doing that if you didn't have this inside of you. And until you get that fixed in there, you will continue to have drama out there. Because trying to fix this situation with this woman or this boss or whatever is like trying to fix my hair in the mirror by touching the mirror. You've got to look inside. But everyone wants to point the finger. But like I say, if I'm pointing to this, if I'm pointing at you, the three of them pointing back at me. Everyone, most people, not us, of course, and our viewers, but everyone wants to blame. And as long as I'm playing the blame game, I'm going to stay the same.
Hey, you know what?
That was
100% of everybody's common denominator in their problems is themselves.
Definitely.
guys
You know, let me
Go ahead.
yeah, let me take it to the left side, you know, to kind of give the audience what they thought this was really going to be about. So I've mentioned this on my show a lot. I think toxicity and drama, there's a certain time in your life when you could kind of appreciate that. And I'm speaking for myself. When I was younger, I've made reference to my Bobby Brown days, my Whitney Houston days, with my rock and roll days, where I was really attracted to toxic women because I myself was rather toxic, and as far as my behavior, my habits, right, things that I was doing, and it was fun, rock and roll shit. It was great, you know. It was a coping mechanism for me, and you know, toxic women are the ones that you can pretty much do anything to because they have no respect for themselves, right? They have no respect for themselves. You can kind of manipulate them. You can kind of do whatever they want to them. So it's, for me, when I was doing that, I was kind of living out my fantasies as a cope because I wasn't honing in on my skill set to be able to do that to the one that I actually really wanted, right? So toxic is easy, right? The loose bitches are easy. Watching the drama is easy because there's really no thought put into it. A lot of people don't want to think because they're reliant on Google, their phones, etc., to do all the thinking for them. So I think we could even look at TikTok, guys. I mean, TikTok, we have grown women. I actually follow women just to see the absurd shit that they're doing. These are old women.
Hey, hold on. I know you've seen the AV. Did y'all see the high school shit where the high school had a rally and in the
in the gym, yes.
Sport content, bro.
Yes, guys. And you know, I follow these women
It's embarrassing.
I follow these women so I could take that content and put it on my show during the week. But what I'm saying is, it's like, oh, this is good. I got to follow so I don't forget. My point is, it's all a level of maturity, man, and where you want to go. Like I said, some people think that because they were born in the hood, that's their entire world. There's nothing outside of their zip code. If you were raised with a mom, like you said, Mark, you had an alcoholic for a father. I was a functioning alcoholic, and I was justifying it because my bills were paid. Everything was still getting done, but I was being toxic. So sometimes for me, I was scared to let go of the drama, the toxicity, because I didn't know who I was without the booze, without the drugs. And that's the problem. A lot of people are drawn to toxicity because it gives them the opportunity to be something that they'll never be, something that they want to be, but they can't because they don't have an identity for themselves. And I think once men start to realize what they want, their standards, all the shit that they want, they'll start to see that that's not really in line with what they need to be doing to become better.
Let me piggyback off that real quick. I think, you know, what we're seeing is when we get guys getting with these toxic women, right? There is a lack in them, right? Like, so why would you want to be with somebody that's toxic? Because you are not measuring up yourself,
right? So
you know, you go to like, well, this is the best I could get. This toxic, this is what it is, because I'm not at the level of where I need to be, right? You know what I'm saying? So there's a crutch in having the toxic women, right?
Facts.
They're giving them all the ass that they want. They're getting all the drama, they're getting all the affirmation type of things that they need from this woman.
Yes.
To make them feel adequate as a man or comfortable with themselves. And so they're willing to accept the toxic behavior in these women for that affirmation or that satisfaction that they're getting.
Yeah.
Instead of leveling themselves up and becoming better men, they're like, I would rather just stay here with this toxicity because I'm comfortable here. You know what I'm saying? Very comfortable,
man. It's like not bathing and shit. It's like, it was like, you know what I mean? It was like just chilling. It was like normal. And this to kind of bring that to like the viewership, that for the audience, the subs that look at the toxic shit, it's like, it's just easier for them. It's easier to be a loser, man. It's just because all you got to do is show up, but to win, to become better, people would rather watch people grow on camera as opposed to growing themselves, right? So it's a very slippery slope, man. And, you know, I don't know if there's a cure for that. But like I said, man, we have to continue to say what we're saying, and hopefully we'll save one person at a time and know that they're not alone, man. But if we continue to do this, we'll grow as well, but slowly but surely.
Well, you know, AV and Glenn, I appreciate those points because it made me think that when you're surrounded by not shit women, not shit friends, and it gives you a sense that there's a certain ceiling above you, right? And that's all you know. Yes. Like you just think the world just stops right here, and that's your entire reality. And so when you're around people, either friends or lovers, that are supporting your bad behavior without even they're not going to verbally say me like, you know what, you're the best asshole I've ever had in my life. Like, they're never going to say that, but the fact that you're not getting called out, that you're getting repeat interactions with people, be it friends or lovers, that's just constantly reaffirming that you're okay. Right. Because no one around you is better than what you are. So no one's calling anyone out. You understand what I'm saying? Versus if you take that person and pluck them out of their little reality and place them in a different reality, they're going to stand out like a sore thumb because you're going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Right. Like, why does he smell like shit? Or like, why does he got such a bad attitude, when everybody else is fine? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that goes deeper and deeper, why the bad attitudes, but you get what I'm saying.
Hey, we at the 40-minute mark, so let's just go ahead and get into the second talking point. These toxic assholes. Why do we like the toxic women, bro? We complain about them, but we still deal with them.
Because they're the best.
I have been.
Mark is smiling already.
They're always the best in bed. They're always the best in the sack.
Yeah, man.
That's why.
I think that's one rumor that's 100% true. I can't think of one toxic woman that was a bad lady.
Yeah, man.
And also,
but hold on, not all toxic women are the best in bed, though. Like
No.
toxic women tend to
I
have
had
that
fire
trait.
ones, so I don't
But
know.
you know what? I
agree.
like I got a girl that she surpassed a lot of other previous, and like top notch, and she ain't all crazy.
Yeah.
She's crazy for this dick, but that's about it. But she ain't all crazy.
I don't know, bro. In my experience, I can't speak for Lawrence. I can't speak for AV, Glenn, Justin, Mark. Toxic ones, the fire ones, bro, and the most fired on too.
Yeah, see, I come from the place of, I will like, if let's say if you want, I hate putting ratings on women, and so like let's say she's a 7 in bed, I'll make her a 9. If she's a 9, I'll make her 11. And so while I will agree that toxic women have, I guess, a more I don't know, they just bring a different kind of energy to the bedroom.
Right.
I wouldn't say that they're better, right? Because I can always make her better. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go,
I'm just
Justin.
for myself, the toxic ones be the fire ones.
Yeah.
maybe they're less inhibited.
Hey, I can only speak from what
I agree.
According to me and the homie, it'd be like, damn, man, this shit is bullshit.
Yeah.
Fire last night, though. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, let's talk about another aspect that I think Glenn
No, you're not. Okay. Go ahead.
Glenn mentioned this about if you're with a toxic woman, let's say she's not the best in bed, but it also helps you feel like you're more comfortable because you can always be looking at her as, well, I'm better than her. It makes you feel like a better person if she's always screwing up, if she's always making mistakes. It's like the person that goes out drinking. I used to drink years ago. I don't anymore, but I would always hang around with people or judge myself by other people who drank more. I'd say, well, I don't have a problem because I don't drink as much as Joe does.
Right.
And it's kind of like when you're with a toxic woman or some woman who's not making the most of herself or who's screwing up or can't keep a job or whatever it happens to be, and you're a steady, dependable, whatever you are, you feel better about yourself, as opposed to if you were with a woman who was really maybe getting after it or doing something, if it were even volunteer work. If she's out there making a difference in the world and you're not doing as much. So it's more comfortable to hang around with people who are less than, but of course, or that you feel are less than you, but of course you don't step up like that. As opposed to when you hang around with people who you feel are more or who are doing more, then they will call you out or you'll step up. It's like when I used to box amateur and professional. I wanted to work out with the guys who were better than I was. I didn't like the beatings, but I knew I became better, and that's how you become better. So it's more comfortable to work out with a guy who is not as good as me, but I don't get shit from it really.
Right.
Let me
And
get
that's
LDA
kind of
here.
like,
Let me get LDA in here real quick. But real quick, where the fuck you at? You a damn millionaire? You got look like you got the Batman status background and shit like that.
That's an Amazon background.
You over there looking like a kingpin and shit. Down there. That's what's baller right there. Go ahead, LDA.
So I would say with the toxic women, I think what happens is it is the thought inside of a man that on some level he can control her, but she's uncontrollable.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so what happens is we think that if we use our phallus to give it to her right, that it will bring some level to control to her. So we get some kind of resolve, some temporary resolve with that. So if I give her this good dick, she's gonna act right, and she acts right for 2 days or maybe 30 minutes, and then she go back to acting like she was. The other thing is we do not feel that we are worthy or deserving to be treated well as men. So we tolerate the toxic woman and her good sex, good head, good everything she does, but secretly we don't know that she's crushing our spirit as a man and our soul as a man, because what it's saying to us, you don't believe that you deserve to be in a place of peace with a woman.
Right.
Yo, you said something. Go ahead, Effie.
That's fire. But what it comes down to is the toxic women gives And again, it gives an affirmation. They feel like they need you, right? And you get this sense of, I'm needed by this woman. This woman wants me. This woman needs me. You know what I'm saying? And a sense of like, I am the man, because look, she keeps on, she needs me in her life. And it really is a crutch in a sense, because if a person is toxic, right, and they're just bad behavior, and you want peace in your life, but you keep a toxic woman in your life, then that means you actually are more toxic in a sense than she is, because you have an attachment issue. Right. You are attached to this sense of toxicity that you need somebody to need you or to want you all the time, because you can't cope without it. And that makes it go back to the individual. Like I mean, I've had crazies before, and I think a lot of you guys have crazies before, and you're like, you know what? The craziness is not worth this, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, the sex is not worth this craziness. I mean, AV has a shirt out that says "Peace over pussy"
all day,
and that's a shirt that's right there that declares, "No, I don't want toxicity." Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, you guys are saying excellent points. You know, I think the problem is it's not necessarily dealing, because I think toxic women, they're great. They can be great. All women can be great depending on who's driving the woman, right? Whoever's driving, it's like you can have a certain car, but if you're not driving it right, it doesn't really fucking matter. I think what Mark was saying and what everybody was saying is, well, I think toxic women, for me in particular, toxic women was a cope and a crutch, because I didn't have anything else going on in my life, right? And even though subconsciously I knew I wasn't doing anything productive, I didn't have anything going on. So I feel like when men have direction, they know what they're doing, the amount of toxic women that they decide to deal with should diminish, or it should be strictly recreational. The problem here is men, since the majority of men don't have shit going on in their life, they wind up catching feelings for the toxic bitch. Now, that's the problem. It's a blurry line. It's kind of like a bro that you're having an affair with. It's like you having an affair, which means that you have a main girl, but now you fall in love with the side bitch too. That's the problem, because because as you age, right, it's not even about sex. Sex is still great. We all can enjoy sex. But for me, making money, making moves, closing deals is pretty much tied with sex at this point. And I'm sure as I continue to become more successful, sex is going to start to diminish as far as my priorities. So if you don't have a lot of shit going on and your straight focus is straight fire, don't fire pussy, that's cool, but you have to learn how to draw the line. Like I said, so we can go to Colombia, we can go to Belize and shit, bang out these bras, and then come back and get back to what we really need to be doing. Guys don't have any direction, so they let the toxic women excite them and kind of let them feel comfortable, because like you guys said, we should all not want to be the best in the room. We should want to be the weakest in the room, so we can be surrounded by stronger people, so we can be better. That's my goal.
Let me jump and say something also about why guys tend to go towards the toxic woman. A lot of times why the guy tends to go towards the toxic woman is because their mother was toxic. And so what they're used to doing is breastfeeding at the toxicity of their mother and how she did her father, or the lack of a father. And so what he thinks is the norm, he translates that over into a relationship, because that's what he's been nursing from since he was born, from a toxic mother. And see, the problem is men don't want to deal with their toxic mother, because that's mom. Don't talk about my mother. She everything. Well, your mother was toxic. No, your grandmother was toxic. Your aunts were toxic, and they fed you poison. And the poison now you look for in other women.
Right. You're looking for that hit again.
Yeah. Right.
No doubt. No doubt.
Travis says toxicity is more of a challenge to some men that like that stuff. Also, men are attracted to toxic women because the social is misogynist and or believe that is what they deserve. That's facts. I wanna ask a question, and then we could just go in ordering. AV, Mark, LDA, Glenn, Justin. Have y'all ever fell in love with the side piece?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I'm gonna pass it, but I'm gonna just say,
Oh.
Hell no. No, I haven't. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it was a mistake again, because listen, man, again, in my day, a side piece was typically a woman that the main didn't know about, right? And for me, whenever I choose a woman, period, to be with, they have a particular role or a particular purpose for me. Now, back in the day, I didn't have much direction per se, but what I'm saying is I fell for the side piece because it allowed me to not be on my purpose, man. Just smoke, drink, do drugs, have sex all day. That's not something that was productive, and that cost me a lot of things, and it cost me a lot of my time. And this is what I talk about with conviction. You have to have direction. Direction is far more important than speed, and it's a clear evident where if you are strictly focused on toxic women, toxic media and shit like that, that means you don't have a lot going on. Because again, we always talk about this: winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. This is why the guys that are at the top in social media and shit and on YouTube, they're getting a lot of hate despite whatever they're doing. They're not really worried about people down here. They're worried about going after the big buck guys. So falling up with the side piece, yes. And when I fell in love, quote unquote fell in love, it was for all the wrong reasons. Again, where is she now? So it's never a good mistake. Take your time when you vetting these bros.
What you got, Mark?
Fell in love with the side piece. Yes, I've done that. And what happens is, or at least in my experience, the side piece, as you guys probably know, is always the one that seems to understand.
Right.
She always seems to understand because she don't have to put up with your shit. She's not with you all the time. She's just glad for the time she gets to spend with you because she's not your main. So if you walk away from your main because you fell in love with the side piece or whatever happened, she doesn't want to be the main. Or at least in my case, she went and found another guy then she was his side piece. So it just didn't work because she was always a side piece for like 3 or 4 years. I mean, this girl would wait for me when I was out screwing other girls, and I would come home and be with her and then go be with my main. And as long as I kept her there, she couldn't get enough of me. But when I started treating her like a main, like my girlfriend, she was turned off by that. And then And then the end is, instead of her waiting there for me at night when I got done whoring around.
Hold on. You gotta elaborate a little bit on that right there. Maybe some kids.
That was a big one.
What's that? What did I say? I missed it.
When you started treating her different.
What happened?
Okay. So as long as I kept her as a side piece, she was very happy, would wait for me for hours to get home from whoring around with other girls all night. So I had several things going. I had like a harem. Okay. But then I split up with the main and I started treating her like my girl with respect, like my girlfriend. And I'm not saying you should treat women badly, but I started treating her like my main, and she didn't want to be in that position. Now, she didn't tell me that verbally, of course, but she became uncomfortable. So she went and found another man that had a main, and she became his side piece and just slowly ditched me, treated me disrespectfully enough that I walked away from her, but I was heartbroken.
Sure. That was excellent, man. You said a lot because you see, man, that was a gem right there, man. Listen, man, what Mark said, I can agree with you, man. Like once I started changing, right? See, women choose you or want to be with you because you're pressing certain buttons, man. But like what Mark said, and I've done this as well, women can sense when you're changing, right? So a lot of women will say, you're not affectionate with me, but once you start becoming affectionate with her, she loses attraction to you. So now when you start falling in love with the broad and the main is getting less and less attention, you start giving her more and more attention, that allure, that appeal, that excitement is no longer there. And now the woman's looking for that excitement elsewhere. So now it's just a vicious cycle. We're not special, bro. It's high. You have to remain yourself in every situation, man, because it's never really secure or guaranteed, man.
Let me add one more thing to that goes along with okay, now after I walked away from her, there were a couple times I went back with her and I had sex with her, and I was trying to make things work, and we know how that works. That doesn't work. And she would say, just be yourself. She wanted me to be like I was back when I had a main, but I wasn't able to go back to that because I kind of got broken through all that, and that's actually what brought me here today, but that was 30-some years ago that happened. But yeah, she would tell me, just be yourself. The self she wanted me to be was the guy that I was when I had a main and when I had all these other girls in this harem type situation.
That's real shit right there. Let's go, DeMarco.
Did you fall in love with the side piece? Shout out to RPC, the real deal.
Peace.
Yeah, so moral of the story, just keep them all as side pieces.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Go ahead, man, what you got? Then we
So
get-
yeah, to be, and I always do this on my channel. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it. I have did it because, like what Mark just said, I forgot the purpose that she served, and I fell for the delusion of who she was. A side piece, the main chick, the baby girl. They all serve a purpose, but if you don't know their purpose and you mix it up, you
Yeah.
throw them out of their position. It's interesting because women know their position whether they like it or not.
Uh-oh.
Woo!
They
Let's
know
go.
their position.
I got a side one for you too, LDA. Just elaborate after whatever you're gonna say.
Yeah, so they know their
With the
position.
side
And
piece, did you fall out of love with the main one?
Let's go, LDA.
say that again.
When you fell in love with the side piece, did you fall out of love with the main one?
Yeah, I did. And what happens is because I didn't at that time recognize her purpose. Each woman serves a purpose in your life, and what happened is if you don't categorize them right or understand what their functionality is, like with Mark's case, he came out of function with her. She never wanted to be the main, and
Right.
it's hard for some men to understand that some women do not want to be a main. But this is the deeper part of it. And to piggyback with Mark, no woman wants to be the main.
Where's the dynamite right there?
No woman wants to be a man. You know why? She wants to know that there's something bigger that has your attention, and if you put her on a pedestal, she's going to lose interest in you.
True.
Bing bong.
Glenn, what you got?
So I could say I never had a side piece per se. I was going through a divorce, and when I realized that my divorce was like, I'm done with this, I'm moving on, right? I have a girl that we were connected. We knew we liked each other, and but I wasn't gonna move back to Washington State for anybody. So she moved to Los Angeles. She sold the house. She quit her job. She wanted to be with me so much that she flew and drove all her shit all the way to LA to be with me because that was the only way it was gonna work. So I never had per se a side piece. I knew that I was done with my marriage and I couldn't put up with all the bullshit. And this new one came in and I leveled her up. She was better than the other one. I upgraded. It wasn't a side piece situation. It was an upgrade.
Oh, Justin.
Yeah, it hasn't happened in a long time, but I would say the last time that I had a side piece that I caught feelings for was probably about 8 or 9 years ago. And what I noticed is that even just falling in love in general, all kind of fizzled away once my prioritization of sex started going down. But in turn, that made me more attractive. Right. So and then a different shift started happening with me sexually because while I stopped focusing on getting pussy and pleasing the woman, instead of like trying to arouse and get a woman off, I then switched to the position of being, well, I give her permission to. And so now it's not even like it's not chasing the physical aspects. I'm more interested in mental aspects. And I think after I shifted away from being so sexually focused and being more mentally focused, like I haven't had that sort of situation where I've so-called fallen in love. And I would even question men who say they've fallen in love, because if you really pick things apart, you're looking at neediness, you're looking at voids inside themselves, you're looking at compensation, you're looking at all sorts of shit. And then it just gets lumped in with a title on it that says I'm in love. But really, I think if you looked at it more deeply, it's probably not love. But I would say that just once I started focusing less on getting that physical sexual gratification from women, that sort of reaction to my situations just pretty much went away.
Man, that was good. That was good right there.
What's up, gang? Go
That was good. You know why? Because you stopped chasing the validation and made her chase your validation.
For sure.
And that's what I think a lot of guys, I'm guilty of, and a lot of people don't want to admit what they've been guilty of because they thought they had game since they came out their mama coochie, but it ain't the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We all been guilty of it.
Yes.
The thing of it is, when you said that, when you changed your mindset about the validation factor, she had to now validate you in a different way. So she was throwing it at you, but now you're not chasing it.
No.
That's a shift in mindset. And women know the difference of a man who's just thirsty to get some.
Yep. Yeah, I made a post of this not too long ago. I said, on your side of the street, you're trying to make her come. On my side of the street, I'm telling her when she's allowed to.
Whoa.
Hey, you know what? Coach Justin just dropped the bomb right there. That's facts.
Let's go.
No, that's facts. Real talk. When your girl is about to, bust, and then you tell her no, you hold it. And if she holds it for you, then you know whose frame you're in.
Right, but Glenn, that extends beyond the bedroom.
No,
right?
exactly.
Right, because if you're not in that mentality of just chasing box, trying to get that and everything, all the psychological crap that it's attached to, and you're more in the mentality of where I'm giving you permission to, right? And all the mentalities that come with that, it goes far beyond the bedroom.
No, and it should go far beyond the bedroom. Yeah. Like, me and my girl had a conversation, and I said I don't like certain clothing being worn in public, right? And you know what? She changed that for me. She understood that, like, okay, like,
yes, sir.
I respect him enough to make sure that I'm gonna change this aspect that he's asking for me. And that shows you two things. It shows you the value that she has in you. She values you enough to make changes that help that live in your frame. Mm-hmm. Two, it also shows you your position to her. And you have to understand your position. If a woman is not willing to accommodate you, then you're not the one for her. Because these are things that, women are taught to look sexy, to always dress sexy, to show out, right? We see it every day on Instagram. And I told my girl, like, no, that's not appropriate for me. That's something that it's mine. If it's mine, then it's mine. Nobody else sees it. Okay? Yeah. And if you're showing it off to everybody else, then guess what? It's not mine. You're giving everybody a free preview. And my girl took that to heart. She's like, you're right. You're right. And it wasn't like she was like walking around naked or anything, but just like, you know what? That shirt's a little too revealing for me. That's for me. That's for my eyes. Yeah. And it's gone to the point where it's like I don't ever have to worry about what she wears. Not saying I ever did, but it's just like if you're with me, this is how it's going to be. Yeah,
that's her level of interest in you.
Look,
that's a level of interest and level of respect.
The cloud. She said, coming from a female, all you guys have great points. No, we have excellent points, Pauline.
That's my daughter.
You know what?
That's my daughter, Afi.
But it takes also being a certain type of guy and carrying yourself a certain type of way and being a certain person to make a woman want to do that. You have to be the guy that a woman wants to accommodate.
Right.
Exactly.
And you know what, too, guys? We talk about this. We haven't said this in a little bit. Ultimately, you're saving a woman from herself, bro. Okay, you're saving, by not allowing her to dress provocatively or kind of just giving her parameters, giving her the ability to let her know that I'm helping you achieve this pleasure, but it's going to be on my terms. You know what I mean? It's all those things that are really just kind of mentally preparing her to follow your lead. And, at the end of the day, like children, women, they just want to be accepted. They want to follow the sheep. And if you want to vet a woman properly, man, you ultimately are saving them for themselves. So this is why, again, a lot of guys don't understand their value because it takes a lot. And I think Afi and I touched on this. It's harder to manage. In essence, it's harder to manage one woman as opposed to managing a rotation or a harem of women. Because like Mark said, once he kind of gave up the harem and he gave up the main and started treating the side piece, as you know, the VP and shit, she started losing attraction. You have to manage that even more. So when men realize all the things that we have to do aside from ourselves and manage the people around us, you're really not going to tolerate any bullshit. A lot of guys are afraid to let women know their parameters because they're going to be viewed as being insecure. And I always tell guys on my show, we walk bitches off the leash here, but you walk off the fucking leash. But for me, I'm not jealous. I'm more like territorial. And jealous is more of an emotional thing. Territorial is more of a chess move for me. So basically, it's like, listen, this is how it's going to work. And, you know, you either stay or you go. You can't control a woman, but that's going to filter out whether she really wants to be with you or not. If she's going to not wear the shit that Glenn doesn't like, or she's not going to come until Justin tells her to come, then she's the one that's going to be worthy of more of your time because she's more the one that's playing the game with you.
Let me jump in because two guys made a good point, AV and Glenn. Now I was at lunch yesterday, and my therapist friend was talking. We just chatting. She paid for lunch, and I said something. You guys just touched on it. Glenn, you really touched on it when you talked about your woman. Women want to be objectified, but only objectified by the man that they choose to see who wants them to be. Women want to be objectified, but they want to be objectified by the right man.
Let's go.
And so what happens is, if we got to know that on some level, she wants to know that you are the owner, and that's a strong term, that you possess her. Because in that possession comes what? Protection, leadership, guidance, and that you're not going to lead her go anywhere. Woman came on our show last week and said she's tired of leading. She's tired of being in this space. Where are the men who would just say, you know what, that's mine. I need you to go this way. What happens is we have a lot of men who are afraid to do it because they're scared of the repercussions because they're choosing the wrong woman who wouldn't appreciate that type of leadership. So women do want to be objectified by the right man.
Let's go.
And you know that's true because like I've seen it happen where guys will objectify a woman, right, and do catcalling or whatever, and then you see the girls get upset, right? But if the right guy said the same, the right guy says the same thing to the woman, and she's like throwing her panties at him, right? You have to be the right guy. You know, it's funny because we're talking about toxic women and addicted to toxic women. I think it takes a little bit more. It's also culturally too. We have this cultural toxicity, right, going on. I just did a video about asking people what is a woman. Literally, me and my girl walked down the street here in LA, and we're walking around asking people a simple question: what is a woman? And I kid you not, you should see the scaredness that these dudes with women had when they try to answer that question. I kid you not, the dude was like, their hair, that they have long hair, and then their bodies. I was like, what about their bodies? And they're powerful. I'm like, no, bro, why can't you just answer the simple question?
She's got a vagina. That's
exactly. And the fact is, like, everybody was so timid. And I asked the dude, I'm like, is she a woman? He's like, yeah, she's a woman. Okay, so what makes her different than you? And they were too scared to answer that. And that kind of goes to the timidity of men. Because that shows the toxicity that men have right now in this era, is that there's such a level of timidity and timidness that they have, that they don't want to say the wrong things because they're afraid to lose access to the box. And as if this is the only box in the world, you know, they act like this is the only box in the world that they can have access to. And it's just like, why don't guys be a little bit more firm with what they want? If you don't want your woman to dress a certain way, then you say that. I'm not controlling my girl. I don't control my girl at all. She knows she can wear whatever the hell she wants, but in order to be with me, you're not going to wear certain things. Right? Okay? It's not a control thing. If you value our relationship, and what we have, and what we're going to do and the moves that we're making together, then you're not going to jeopardize it. And it goes both ways. Guys have to do the same thing too.
Oh,
But
talk about that. That's good.
Y'all need to appreciate these news y'all get for free. I remember when I used to want news when I was young. You know what I used to have to do? Rent out hotel rooms, take pictures.
Oh my
and
God.
There's going to Walgreens, bro. Y'all just be getting them just anytime y'all want. Y'all just think it's regular business, bro. Everybody on here used to have to work for them pictures, bro.
I want to say something real quick about the possession thing. This, I think, is a great thing to practice when you've got a girl that you've made your girl. You know, it's been a year plus, and you're like, okay, she's passed all the tests. She's been on my shit for, you know, doing well for a year plus. All right, now I'm gonna call her my girl. She's my girlfriend, or whatever you want to call her. At that point, there's just a little bit of game that it's really good to use possessive language, right? Because yes, the objectification, right? It was saying like objectification, but coming from the right guy, right? So it's one thing to call a woman a slut, but it's another thing to call her my slut. Or you're my beautiful little slut.
Yep. You're
right?
my dirty little slut. Just
you're
little
my
something.
whore. You're my whore. There's something about putting the my, right? And then mixing it with the raunchy and then the sweet, right? There's real magic in there. But by combining words like beautiful and whore, you know what I'm saying? And if all the other factors are there, it really creates there's like a solid glue that comes in there.
That's good.
Because women don't want to be a slut for everybody. Remember that. Like they don't want to be a slut for everybody.
Right.
No.
They want to be a slut for somebody, not everybody.
Nope.
And they're trying to find that somebody, but half these guys are not even measuring up.
No, and most guys, it's like fishing. You know what I'm saying? Like when guys go fishing and they tell the story, and they're like, "Man, this carpet was like 3 feet long." You know what I mean? And like it was only like this big. You know what I mean? and so every guy thinks he's a god in the bedroom. But if you talk to women, the vast majority of women have never had orgasms. The vast majority of women are unsatisfied in bed, right? Yet all men think that they're fucking tigers and lions in the bedroom, right? Something's
funny.
not adding up.
No, that's facts because it's super funny.
I want to make a point on something Glenn said about the submission or compliance or boundaries, I call it. It's odd to me how, for example, in the U.S. here, I submit to the laws of the land, the authority, right? I have the protection of the Army, the Navy, the Marines. I have roads. I have infrastructure. These are all blessings and gifts and conveniences for me because I submit. But yet in America, so many women think that submitting to a man is submitting to slavery, when in reality it's not all. If that man is protecting, providing, and keeping you safe, what is wrong with submitting? It's not slavery if he wants, if he's taking care of you, no more than it's slavery for me to submit to the laws of the land, and I get all these protections and amenities from that. See, it's the same principle. It's not like, if you want this, like Glenn said, if you want to be my girl, this is how I want it to be. But a lot of women will call him controlling, insecure, when in reality that's not it at all.
Well, let me say something what you just said, and that's a very good point. What happens is the media and everything else, feminism in the second wave, third wave, 5 waves, 6 waves, whatever wave it is, have demonized submission.
Yeah.
But secretly, they all want it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that again. They have demonized submission. When I was talking to my therapist friend yesterday, they were saying, "Oh, I'm submission. I'm not doing that," whatever the case may be. And they do it naturally in every area of their life. But because it's demonized, because it's attached to a man, that there's a problem. But secretly, they want to submit to a man. And so what happens is, if we can look a little further and realize all this shouting and I don't want to do it, it's just a front, because they all want to submit to a man.
Yeah, it goes back to
a lot of guys haven't stepped up.
Yeah, don't listen to what they say. What do they really want? There you
Thank
go.
you.
You got it.
Every alpha woman is looking for an alpha man to make her her sub.
Yeah.
I mean that's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't care how alpha a woman is. She's looking for a more man that's more alpha than her, so that she can submit. Because you know what? There's peace in the sense of submission. When a woman doesn't have to worry about the things that she normally would have to worry about if she's on her own, because the man's taking care of it, then there's peace in that submission. It's not a control thing. There's a level of toxicity that gets it to where it's too controlling with people, and that just shows the male's insecurity, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't tell my girl she can't wear clothes. I just say I don't like that clothes. You can wear whatever the fuck you want to wear, but to be with me, you're not going to. And it's not a control thing. It's a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah.
It's not a power trip. It's not a control thing. You know what I'm saying? It's this is how I live my life. And if you want your life to be in my life, then this is the rules of the law. This is the law of the land to live in my frame. You can either be in it or not, and that's a choice women make. But guys are too afraid to give women these choices.
Right.
They're giving them all the choices, but not
they're addicted to that box.
They want the box.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you, it's something you said that. I'm gonna tell you, it's interesting. Back in the day, it was a couple of my dudes. Our thing is, any woman talk about I'm tough, I can do all this, I'm independent. I said, you know what? Got you. I'm going to introduce you to Darth Vader. I said, Darth Vader? Yeah, I'm going to introduce you to Darth Vader. The moment I did that, immediately they came to submission. Because all that talk and all, I ain't going to do this, they were doing all kind of things you wouldn't even imagine. The toughest ones, or
Darth
the
Vader,
ones that
that's
I'm
your shit.
independent, were the ones climbing up the walls, one leg on the table, one leg on the couch.
Yeah.
The dog was looking like this.
May the force be with you.
Why? Because on every level, we got to go to primal level. A woman wants to know that you can dominate her. And if you do not exercise that within, let me say this correctly, because I don't want nobody coming saying something, exercising in the right parameters, she's going to love you. I think of a situation, we sort of changed around. Someone was in a high position. She was in a high position. Went out to go eat, whatever the case may be. She paid, whatever the case may be. So we bought a car, and I'm standing there leaning against the car, chilling, talking, rapping to her, you beautiful. I like, you cute. And then I just stopped, and I grabbed her by her neck and began to kiss her. Her knees buckled. She said, "How did you know that I like that?" And I just smiled and said, "Wait, I just know." She fell right for it, because every man was enamored by, like Coach was saying, by her booty and her beauty and her box, and I care nothing about that. You're going to submit to me.
So let me ask you guys this then. So do we think that we can change a toxic woman, and is it worth it? Like we all have identified that we've been with a toxic woman. Now, do they deserve a second chance, and should we be the ones to heal them? A lot of guys, they want to do the Sam Rothstein shit, like, I can save her, and I've done that shit, trying to save bitches. Shit didn't work.
I'm glad you brought that up, AV, because I'm working with a dude right now, and he's dealing with like 3 or 4 different women, and he brought this one chick in, and she's totally different than everybody else. And he's just giving me, I'm like, just tell me about it. Like, what is she doing? What is she saying? Let me see screenshots of her text messages and stuff like that. And I'm like, look, I can't tell you what to do, right? You're your own man, but you got to look at the difference between how much energy you're putting in versus your ROI, right? So while she might need like a lot of input, right? This particular girl, she's going to need a lot of input and a lot of concerted effort, right? And I'm like, is this a girl that you want to be your girlfriend, right? If she's not, then you're going to be putting in all this energy to, work with a woman who you're not ultimately looking at in a long-term sense, and then the return on your investment is going to be very low versus how much energy you put out, right? So I mean, can you? Yeah, but should you? I don't know. That's up to you, and you might get your knees busted up on the process.
Yeah.
Hey.
I would say, you know what? You could always test it out, right? In the sense of, look, I guess the question is did she do some toxic shit to you? Right? And then you're like, oh, well, I want to give her another shot. If she did some real out of the box toxic shit to you, no. The lesson that she learns is that you are not there no more. That's
right,
how
but
you help her out.
You could still test it though. You could just whatever
but,
it is,
but I'm
and you say,
saying, like,
hey, cut that shit out, and then she stops right away, and that's a no. That's okay. She's listening. Let's see what happens again, right?
I think it's a little different though. Depends on the level of like if your girl, okay, let's just say hypothetically, my girl decided to continue to wear the clothes that I don't like her wearing. That to me would be a toxic trait, because to me you're advertising yourself for everyone else to see. That means you're not exclusive to me. That means subliminally you're on the market still, low key. Then I wouldn't be with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, that to me, that's my hard line. Now, let's say that there was a grace period. There was some time she was struggling. She needed to get some new clothes or something, right? But she made the effort and she tried. Yeah, that's as long as they're showing you a level of they're trying to reach that effort to reach that part with you, then I would say yes, work with it, or at least flirt with the idea of working with it. But if a girl comes out of pocket and she slaps you, no, I'm not. That doesn't work for me at all. You know, if a girl goes out and lies on your name, no, that's defaming your character. That's defaming who you are. No, if she's doing anything that's going to taint your image, because she is an extension of you. So if she's willing to taint you, which she's an extension of, she's bad mouthing herself in a sense. If she's willing to do that, then no. I think there's levels to it.
Y'all want to hit the algorithm, because since I've been sitting here, I swear it had been 20 people talking about this Will Smith. It's trending like hell, like at least 20. I got 20 notifications across my shit. I didn't even see it. I guess it's a big deal, man.
Okay.
Bullshit.
This Snuggles. Hey, can you pull up that Snuggles 668 comment?
All right. And shout out to Pauline for the super chat. She said, "You guys are doing incredible. Keep it up. Thank you." We're not doing incredible. Y'all, Pauline, the only one that liked the game. Push the fire sign in the chat if y'all like the game. Y'all like the video too.
Yeah, I got a question just off of what what you were saying, Glenn. Do you think most men can even do that?
I don't think most men know how to do that. I think
I knew the answer, but I knew what you were going to say, but I just wanted to hear you.
It's easier for someone to pull you down than it is for you to pull them up.
Well, I think most men are afraid to do that also, because if you're going to because that's a challenge, that's a line in the sand type of thing. You know, that's a red line that you're saying. And when you draw a red line, you're saying, okay, if you do this again, I'm not going to. This is the consequences of that. Most men are afraid of doing that, because then they're like, well, if she does it again, well, she didn't mean it. It was under different context, different circumstances. They're so scared of losing that box, that access that woman gives them, that they're willing to put up with it. And that's where I'm saying, like, you have to know who you are and what you want in life and how you're going to live your life and what you're allowing in your life before you could even take on that challenge. You know what I'm saying? It could be done. No doubt. I just don't know if guys are willing to, because it is, you have to look at your ROI. What you're going to have to put into that to get that behavior corrected, maybe more time than what you're actually willing to invest.
And it requires skill.
It does,
right? Because
you have to know who you are yourself.
You got to have emotional control. You have to have principles that you stand on, because that's what that line is. It's challenging your principles. But check it out. Most dudes don't have any. I live by 20. I have a list of 22 of them that I look at every single day on my wall. Most guys don't have that shit. They don't even know what they stand for. So when shit gets challenged, they just have an emotional response to it. And then they're getting, going toe to toe with a woman on some emotional level where she's going to trounce his ass because that's her arena.
That's her domain.
Exactly. And
That's
she's
her
going to
domain.
tear him up and just spin him around and treat him like a damn puppet.
I want to go back to the Snuggles comment. Is that why Chris Rock or Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on stage to assert his dominance again? I think that was an attempt. I think that's what he tried to do. I think he knows that he needs to redeem himself somehow.
At the
And I
Oscars,
think-
bro?
At the I don't know if it was staged, man. I mean, it looks staged, but I don't know. Like it's
I think
trending.
he pulled back. I think he pulled back at the end. I think he was going up there to do it, and I think that he attempted but didn't do it. He didn't do it wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying?
On TMZ, TMZ they have like the footage because in Europe, in America, they supposedly bleeped it out. But Will Smith was saying, "Keep my wife out, my wife's name out your fucking mouth." And supposedly Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington was like comforting him and shit.
Yo, I posted it on Facebook and YouTube, the video.
Yeah.
Because I found a 3-minute or 2.5-minute video of the whole thing. Chris Rock talking about Denzel. He told him his favorite line in the Macbeth was King Kong ain't got shit on me or something like that. Like he was just making a joke, and then he made a joke to
Jada.
No, the other guy first was like, you and your wife.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah, you and your wife are both up for a nominee, so I know you're hoping Will Smith wins. And then he goes to Jada, and then made the J.I. Jane joke, which I thought was, it wasn't even that bad. Like, I mean, we all know Jada Smith has bald head. I mean, that's been her haircut since like the early 90s,
Yeah,
so I don't know. I think it was him trying to do too much. I really think that was him trying to show that he is still a man.
Yeah, and I think this is what happens when guys, just let things fester and get, because he's been the butt of all jokes for quite some time with the entanglement. They've been making memes out of him, and he just got fed up. And I think there was a way to do it, especially since he was on the way to making a comeback with the King Richard and kind of resuscitating his career. For him to do that now just goes to show you how emotionally broken he was and how frustrated he was. And again, at the end of the day, it was all his fault. It was his lack of accountability. Even when he had an interview with Oprah saying that there's never been infidelity in our relationship, that means that they know that they were swingers, because we know it's not cheating if I know about it, right? So a lot of celebrities, when things come out, scandals, they try to get in front of it. They try to put a spin on it and control it. Like, yeah, I knew that all along. But this is a poor example of how men should behave, because that was clearly emotional. Will Smith is a comedian. Chris Rock is a comedian. You in the front seat, bro. You fair game. So at the end of the day, it was not congruent with how he's trying to portray himself to be a classy dude. There's other ways to do that shit and be an example. Now he won the best Oscar. He won an Oscar tonight, and that was his first Oscar. And now he's talking about love. So there's a lack of congruency. So now young, impressionable men are looking at this shit and saying, okay, I can do this, I can do that. But that was clearly emotional, bro. That's not how you handle shit, especially as
that wasn't a man at all.
See,
that was a feminine man.
I think it was all WWE, right? Because check this out. Like it looks staged. If you watch WWE, like when somebody gets hit, they're not really getting hit. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like we watch boxing, we watch MMA, we know what it looks like to see somebody get fucking hit. You know what I mean? It's not WWE, and it wasn't that shit on stage with fucking Will Smith. And I'll tell you, and I tell you why, like it's staged. One, because Will Smith's image has been tarnished. He has been dragged across the fucking internet like crazy for all of his bitch ass behavior over the last few years. And so he's trying to, like, his probably publicists were like, all right, let's like try to stage something. Okay, now you can't just act like that, because these aren't just people. Will Smith is incorporated, right? Chris Rock isn't. These are corporations, right? These aren't just people. These are corporations with marketing teams, advertising teams, producers. They've got publicity agents to show. Like you can't just, you can't fucking just act out because you fucking feel like it, especially when you're at that height. You know what I'm saying? If you're some fuckwad who's just on the scene, yeah, you get drunk driving or whatever. But like when you get up there, you got to watch how you move. And if you're going to interact with somebody on a stage at the Oscars, you can't just be fucking wilding out here like shooting from the hip. No, you can't do that shit. Not especially at an event like that. So the whole fucking thing was probably staged just to make Will Smith look like a fucking badass when he's really not.
Yeah, Trav said he was crying in the stands afterwards. Like he was literally tearing up after he fought him, after he smacked him. Like that's the shit. It's like
crocodile tears.
Yeah,
I don't think
and they're actors.
I don't think it's staged. I mean, like, look, I'm in the industry. So I'm in this industry. I understand these forums and stuff. I don't think it was staged. Okay. I think that Will's okay. I know a lot more about Will Smith than probably a lot of people on this panel. And just because from the rumors of the industry. And I know that he is not that guy. Now he's not I Am Legend. Okay. He is not, Deadshot. That's not him. Okay.
You can see it in his eyes.
Yeah. So I think that really was him trying to make an attempt to try to man up a little bit. And the reason why I say that is like somebody said, well, security would have been all over that feels real. No, because remember when Kanye went up there and snatched up the mic from Taylor Swift, right? Security would have been all over that. That was a black man attacking a white woman, verbally. You would have think the security. So that wasn't staged. These forums, these events are like you are invited because you are who you are. So the security's at the door, really, at these events. Like they're not letting people in. They're not really guarding what's going on stage so much. Chris did a good job at being composure, holding his composure through it. Because I don't think he knew that was coming. I really don't. As people want to call it stage, or I don't see it because I don't think he would have made the joke. I don't think he would have. I don't see Chris trying to make himself look like a bitch getting slapped by another man on stage to help somebody else's career. You know what I'm saying?
He's a comedian.
Let me say this. I just watched the video where you guys were talking.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Will Smith. I didn't watch Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Whose response I watched was Jada's. She was physically, her body language says she was completely uncomfortable with what Chris Rock just said. Go back and watch it. That's what I was doing. She was not happy about what was said. So Will, like you guys had already stated, is trying to stand up and be the man. But as you already said, his skirt has already been revealed.
But you see, this is the problem with women, man. It's like they wear certain revealing clothing, and then they get mad if you objectify them. Jada's always portraying like she's this proud woman, red table talk. She's wearing her head bald and shit. So, bitch, you already knew what it was. That's what I'm saying. You can't pick and choose when shit want to bother you or not. This is the fucking problem. So now Will wants to be the white knight. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, my nigga. You should have told her to put on a fucking wig, or just, you know what I mean, console her afterwards, man. You have to keep your sense of composure, man. Now I can understand it was a joke. It was a poor, tasteless joke. Like if he would have grabbed Jada's ass, that's reactive. I'll slap a nigga for doing some shit like that. But for you to say that, so now the woman, this is what I'm saying. There's no congruency in women, bro. What did Rihanna say? There's a thing floating around. Rihanna said, yo, the lady said, what do you do when you're not feeling confident? She says, I pretend. It's better than crying myself to sleep. This is Rihanna, an icon. All of them are pretending, bro. And guys are not believing. They believe in what they're seeing as opposed to believing what they should be knowing. That's the fucking problem.
Well, what Will Smith did was he showed us a false sense of masculinity.
Yep.
Okay. If he was gonna show real masculinity, what he would have done was he would have left her during the entanglement. Okay, that he would have moved. He would have moved. But since he tried to show this emotional side, trying to connect and understand, right? And oh yeah, we're gonna be together forever. Type of our love is beyond whatever this nonsense is. He saw that backfired on him because all the memes show it. And he's like, okay, you know what? I got to show that I'm still a man. I got to show that I'm still Will Smith, that people want to be with me, right? And he tried to overcompensate his lack of masculinity over a bad joke. It doesn't make him look like a man.
No.
It doesn't make him look like a man at all. You know what it makes him look like? In the way he swung too, it makes him look like a bitch. And everybody knows that I said, when I say bitch, I don't mean a female. Okay? I mean a bitch. All right?
A weak man.
A weak man. Okay?
Thank you.
They emotionally responded. I mean, like, all right, each guy's their own, but if that was me and I truly got offended, my woman got offended, I'd wait till after. I'd go talk to him like face to face, not get out there on stage with my emotions all on both my fucking shoulders and then smack another man out like live performances, you know, drawing attention to me, drawing attention to my emotional outburst, drawing attention to the fact that I have no control over myself, drawing attention to the fact that I got triggered. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was real, Chris won. He won.
Absolutely.
You know what interesting? Hey, Alfie. I don't know how you did it, but you need to change your title and put Will Smith and Jada and Chris in.
It's going down, bro. I'm just seeing it on my computer. Notification.
You need to change the title to it, because you know what? We were already talking about toxic women and toxic drama and everything. Here's a classic example right before our eyes.
Yeah. You know what?
At least 20 people. It went
you know what's funny about all this?
Change the title, Alfie. Get you know that
what's
hit.
Funny about all this is that you know who looks more masculine and composed than all this?
Jada.
Because she's sitting there. She didn't even have to make a move. Hey, how many guys, hey, let me ask you this. How many guys have you ever looked at your girl and she already knew that something was wrong with you, that you were upset about something, and then she changed the behavior, or she changed whatever that was, right?
See, and that's not how you fight for. That's not how you fight for a woman's honor, too.
No,
that's you sucker, bro. That's
and,
dumb.
And it wasn't even a dishonoring. It was a
right.
Chris Rock has a history of telling jokes like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's saying Bill Burr that he's rude. It's like, dude, it's Bill Burr.
Right. That's not how you do that, man. And Justin, what you said was important too. It's like a dude starting a fight in front of the cops, talking shit next to the security guards at the club. You're not really about that life, bro, because you're talking a lot of shit. It's like these dudes on the internet, man. They, I'm gonna see you. They don't fucking want to see you, bro. So what I'm saying is that's not how you see. That was some bitch shit, realistically, because that's all for TV. Yeah, it may not have been. He may have really gotten smacked and shit, but that tactic that he did, all that theatrics, and then you have Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry caressing you, like letting you know, yo, it's okay. No, my nigga, you can't do shit like that. But Will Smith is done, bro. Like,
well, you know what it is? Will Smith knew he could get away with it, with who he was doing it to. Okay, let's get that fact right. Because, hey, if it was Vin Diesel, if it was Dwayne The Rock Johnson, do you think he'll go up there and try to slap him? If it was me, he'll be damned. I'll slap him back to West Philly. You know what's crazy, though?
Yeah, like everyone's applauding Chris Rock for his composure, and I can appreciate that too. But I would have been, even if I didn't go after, I would have been saying some shit to Will Smith on camera too, because it's already happened. I would have been, yo, listen, bro. I would have went in on his wife more. I would have did something. I would have reacted, because he just was like, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me, and then went on with the fucking show. Like, nah, cut the cameras. Let's talk about this. That's crazy, man.
Hey, guys, let's say our last.
Let's lock it up.
Let me check this out. Shout out to Blackjack and shout out to Peace. Great. Shout out to Snuggles. Glad y'all made it. Yeah, I might have to just clip this little back in and just do a little, I don't know, like a
change the title for sure.
So let's start with Glenn. Say your last words, bro. How can they find you? You muted.
You're muted, brother.
Okay, you can find me on YouTube at Glenn Lawrence, or you can find me on Instagram at Glenn Lawrence Presents, Glenn Lawrence _presents, or Facebook Glenn Lawrence. We out here doing the movie thing. Mind Dates, the movie's coming out soon. Working on the funding. We got all the usual suspects that are gonna be up in this. We got Avi, we got AV gonna be in it.
go.
So we got Paul from Apex Mindset going to be in it. So we're going to be doing some big things. So stay tuned.
Appreciate
Good.
you.
Coach Justin, what you got? Tell them where you can find you.
Yeah, man. Most of my shit can be found on IG at CoachJustin_AE. I've got a YouTube channel here, just Coach Justin, and in the link in my bio on IG, all of my shit can be found in there. Links to everything.
Good. Mark.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Mark Daniels, Mark's Inspiration, or on IG at Mark's Inspiration, or you can check me out at my website at marksinspiration.com. We have a podcast every Saturday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join us for that if you get a chance. And it's been great being here, Alfie. I appreciate it.
Good. And everybody in the chat room, when y'all watch this, put slaps in the comment section. Put the hand. I want everybody to put that slap hand in the comment section.
Let's go.
AB.
Peace. Yeah, man. It was awesome. Thanks for having me on, Alfie. Salute to all the panelists on here, man. Make sure you guys follow me on YouTube, Alpha Villains. Tune in each and every morning for my morning show, Finish Your Breakfast with AV, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. And I appreciate it, man. I'll see you guys next time.
All right, LDA, what you got?
Yo, this is Lawrence D. Adams. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and back on YouTube, 12:30 Eastern Standard Times for the thinking class when spirituality and the game combines. But I will not be there tomorrow because I'm getting a flight out of Cleveland and I will be in the sunny Florida tomorrow morning. So there will be no thinking class tomorrow, but you can find me anywhere there. And on TikTok, Lawrence D. Adams. Look for me there.
Well, I appreciate the steam panel. Like I said in the chat, me and God Mo, you want to say what's up, bros? You've been bothering me this whole time. Y'all make sure y'all leave in the comment section, not the chat.
Word.
Yo, let me say one more thing. Yo, I just saw this on Facebook. She goes, it's a picture of Jada, and it goes, Will, I'm not impressed. Tupac would have shot him.
We out of here on that one. Peace.
Yeah.